Hi, welcome to She Spice. Ernest Lee Thomas has been a functioning entertainer since the 1970s, with his first jobs being in Quite a While and Koi High. He depicted repeating characters in TV series as Roger Rajay Thomas in What's Going On and its follow-up, What's Going On Now, prior to going on a descending twist with drugs. The show's retraction after 3 seasons drove him to fall into a profound sorrow, which he conquered in the wake of becoming destitute. He has additionally featured as Kayabu in the miniseries Roots, as Mr. Omar in Everyone Detests Chris, and played visitor jobs in Martin and The Steve Harvey Show, while working on The Martin Show. Thomas had the honor to work intimately with unbelievable entertainer Martin Lawrence and figure out how he works, finally inferring that the screen deer is being constrained by certain individuals in Hollywood. Thomas, the Gary, Indiana local, was brought up in Compton, California. In the wake of graduating secondary school, he signed up for the American Foundation of Emotional Expressions to set out on his acting vocation. Thomas later graduated with his 4-year certification in Science and Social Science and Brain Research from Indiana State College, meaning he can undoubtedly be aware and realize when somebody is being controlled. Martin Lawrence is no more unusual than the efficient Cars of Parody, an installation on film and TV screens since the mid-1990s. Lawrence's extended program of screen credits incorporates his 90s period. Fox sitcom Martin, as well as a line of big screen blockbusters. These incorporate co-featuring with Will Smith in The Terrible Young Men Establishment, Huge Mother's Home, and its different spin-offs, featuring Eddie Murphy in The Dramedy Life, voicing a bear named Boo in the enlivened hit Open Season, filling in as an individual from the outfit cast in the ludicrous joke Demise at a Burial Service, and a lot more. As his armies of fans understand, Lawrence started out as a professional comedian, and he's gotten back to the stage at various events since his most memorable stand-up, Unique in 1991. Martin Lawrence, You Were So Insane in 1994. Martin Lawrence Rental Dat in 2002, and Martin Lawrence Due in Time in 2016. He has additionally stood out as truly newsworthy for this frequently turbulent individual life, which hit a peak in the last part of the 1990s with a progression of embarrassment so extended that the sensationalist newspapers could scarcely stay aware of them. Lawrence anyway isn't anything in the event that not a survivor enduring those significant tempests and a rising during the 2020 as an endured showbiz veteran who went the distance while heading to turning into a senior legislator of satire. His story is long and windy. What's more, his achievements are numerous. Martin Lawrence was brought into the world in 1965 in Frankfurt, Germany, where his dad was positioned while serving in the U.S. military. He was one of 6 kids. Lawrence was only 8 years old when his folks separated, with his dad leaving the family. His mom took Lawrence and his kin stateside when she got back to the U.S. to make a new beginning, taking on 2 positions to support her youngsters. My family had no cash, and I'm the 4th of 6 to mess with it. It was all my mother, Lawrence, reviewed in a meeting with the Las Vegas Audit Diary. We lived in Government Segment 8 lodging. The supernatural occurrence was that my mother never surrendered. She generally figured out how to put food on the table and talk about their common youth for a memoir episode. Lawrence's sibling, Robert Lawrence, additionally thought back on how much their mom battled to earn barely enough to get by. We had our unpleasant times, and he affirmed that we simply didn't have material things yet. We had love, so that's what I surmise helped their mom, Clora. Lawrence added that after Lawrence's satire vocation was removed, the screen star expressed gratitude toward his mother for every one of her penances by buying a permanent spot for her in California, where he was presently residing. Getting her that house was a preferred inclination over purchasing my home. He told the Survey Diary that it was the best inclination ever for a teen experiencing childhood in an extreme neighborhood. Martin Lawrence acknowledged he'd have to figure out how to protect himself. As history noted, he was inclined toward boxing preparation at Maryland Sugar Bean. Leonard boxing focus, he immediately showed fitness and by age 15, had turned into a novice athletic association champion. The entertainer has referred to his fleeting confining vocation and his stand-up parody schedules. During one execution, he kidded about how his procedure of continually moving made himself a troublesome objective for a rival. This, he kidded, drove his mentor to think of an expression for him. One thing about Martin, he won't get hit, and he won't hit anyone. The entertainer's karma ran out when he took a strong punch to the face during a match. When his mom got her most memorable glance at her swollen and enlarged child, she made him quit any pretense of boxing without even a second's pause. Her choice might have shut one entryway, but it ended up opening another when the young person started diverting his energy into satire. As a matter of fact, Lawrence let assortment know that the abilities he had gained from boxing had become valuable as he sought after a vocation in parody. Boxing gave me the preparation, the consistency, and, in particular, the center. He said to concentrate on your art. To be great at your art, and to be amazing at it, you can contact them at levels and simply be all that you could be. His excursion from compact disc satire clubs to worldwide fame didn't work out coincidentally while fostering his stand-up cops in front of an audience. He needed to take on different responsibilities to help himself. One of these was a stretch as a phone salesperson during a 2017 appearance on The Tonight Show featuring Jimmy Fallon. Lawrence thought back about his days as a TSR, otherwise known as a phone agent, offering upkeep arrangements to clients who had recently bought machines from Burns. He never made a solitary deal, yet ended up fashioning a kinship with collaborators in neighboring workspaces who were like wise bound for fame. Cheryl James and Sandra Denton might proceed to become Rap Team Salt, NPE, and that was cool since I used to screw with them consistently. Lawrence's review wouldn't allow them to finish their work. I was continuously teased about everything talked about by the Riverfront Times. Denton affirmed that she accomplished to be sure work, close by the future satire star, reviewing how they were all longing for fame. Better believe it was us, she said, adding that other associates in the workplace included Youngster and Play. Also known as Christopher Reed and Christopher Martin, it's so insane on the grounds that we as a whole sat close to each other, and Martin would agree that whoever gets their break initially needs to put the other one on. We got our break first, so he used to open up for us with his parody while colleagues, Salt and Pipa, handled their huge break first. Lawrence's came in the last 50% of the 1,980s, when his steady exhibition in New York City satire clubs paid off with an opportunity to show up on the television series Star Search. The show was something of a forerunner to American Symbol, and the opposition series that came in wake presented entertainers in different classifications, going from vocalist to humorist to speech models. The entertainers were assessed by a panel of judges, with acts wiped out until only one stayed to win that season's opposition. Lawrence obviously established a connection with viewers with his humorous schedules, including an engaging riff about connections. Subsequent to coming to the last round, he was eventually crushed, barely passing up being named that season's satire champ. His misfortune anyway camouflaged a silver lining. TV chiefs had been watching his advancement on the show and thought he'd be great for another television series being developed. Thus, the youthful entertainer was given a role as Maurice Warfield in the 1987 sitcom What's Going On Now? When that show was dropped after its most memorable season, Lawrence had the option to parlay his first at any point screen credit into additional acting work, remembering jobs for the hit films Make the Best Choice and Local Party in 1992. He was tapped to star in his own Anomus. Fox sitcom Martin, the job that cleared the way for the effective big screen satire vocation that would follow, was during his most memorable gig that Lawrence met Ernest that very year. That Martin Lawrence appeared his sitcom Martin, he was too tapped to have hard of hearing parody jam made by rap magnate Russell Simmons. The HBO series ended up being a colossally powerful stage for up-and-coming dark comics, sending off the vocations of a stunning exhibit of future stars, a rundown that incorporates any semblance of Dave Chappelle, Tiffany Haddish, Cheryl Underwood, Tracy Morgan, Leslie Jones, and numerous others. The series likewise shows the focus on Lawrence, who stunned viewers with his stand-up satire abilities at the launch of each and every episode. When I think back, I was a small child, and I was brave, so I simply needed to seize every second opportunity I got to get in front of an audience. Lawrence told Diversion Week that after being the principal host of D-Parody Jam, I attempted to have a good time and make it as large as conceivable in a to some degree tedious survey. New York Times TV pundit John J. O'Connor lauded Lawrence's hard-of-hearing parody jam facilitating abilities. Mr. Lawrence is now the star of the Fox sitcom Martin directs these tremendously stimulated equal meetings with unflagging application plum, even as he changes portions of the dark amusement scene. Connor composed Lawrence, which just facilitated that fundamental first season, but established the vibe for the Has that would succeed him by 1994. Lawrence's star was on the ascent when he was approached to have Saturday Night Live in his talk. The jokester stunned the crowd and apparently NBC censors when he denounced any kind of authority in an unapproved routine about ladies with poor cowardly cleanliness, while the talk was vigorously edited for the West Coast rebroadcast. Subscribe She Spice for more videos.